no one should have to choose between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Purina is helping to create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters through the Purple Leash Project, so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso. Gift magical mornings with Nespresso Virtuo Pop. Compact and stylish, Virtuo Pop is made to meet every morning coffee craving. From espresso to coffee, hot or iced, at the click of a button. And celebrate the season with Nespresso's limited edition coffee flavors. Sweet almond and hibiscus, cinnamon and candied tamarind, and festive double espresso. Magic in the making. Shop the holiday gift collection exclusively at Nespresso.com.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to this edition of There Can Only Be One, the podcast that puts together the all-star best-of playlists of your favorite bands and artists. Hello to all of our listeners in Hamilton, New Zealand, and around the world. How the heck are you guys doing? So, do you like math? Right now, everyone who went through high school is saying, "Oh, hells no." But I do. Funny story. When I was going through high school, I excelled in 2 classes, 2 subjects, and 2 subjects really only, because I was that high school student. I excelled in math and music, which means that I may be uniquely qualified to talk about Tool. And here to join me, my co-host who is not a Tool, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm not a tool. Thanks for that.
Not a tool, right?
However,
well, I try to temper my compliments here.
Right. You know? I appreciate that.
If I started being nice, you'd wonder what was wrong.
I mean, you could have said so much worse, like, and using disgustipated or
yeah.
any of the.
Here is my sober wife, Carrie. Carrie,
right.
How you doing? But I don't want to lie.
At least it's not Prison Break or prison. Prison sex.
That would be so much worse.
Oh wow. You mentioned high school though.
Yes.
How many of your high school friends had the quintessential Tool T-shirt? You know what I'm talking about. The
exactly.
Tool
the wrench that basically looked
T-shirt.
like a fallacy.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, it was out there. It was definitely out there. But the funny thing is, like, I know I am of the, and I'm Canadian, so I get to say this, I'm of the Much Music generation, right? So to our American listeners, if you are of the MTV generation, or if, you know, wherever you are listening to the show, I guarantee you probably had some music video channel growing up. The minute the music video for Sober came on and you're watching this like it's some like weird, horrific nightmare video, but you can't look away. Tool was so good about their music videos, because it was most videos at the time, they were your standard quintessential either conceptual weird video or just a live performance video. Tool made you scared.
Tool's like, hold my beer.
Hold your beer and hold 7 more. You're going to need it to get through this. But here's what we're going to do. We're about to go through 6 Tool albums. As always, we're not covering any live or compilation CDs. Now, that means we're not covering the Salival box set, which means they're covers of No Quarter by Led Zeppelin and You Lied by Peach off the table. We're also not going to be covering their 72826 EP. This is the demo cassette that came out before Opiate did, but some of those songs appeared in live form on Opiate. So we will be able to talk about some of those songs. But we're going to start 1992, March 10th, the release of Opiate. The band at this point is Maynard James Keenan, Adam Jones, Paul D'Amour, and Danny Carey. Hit number 59 on the Billboard 200 and it's platinum in Australia, Canada, and the US. There was one single off of this one, Hush, but it did not chart. So this initial EP, most people's first taste of Tool, either this or Undertow. Your thoughts on this disc and what's your pick?
I don't know how this entire CD eluded me, but this was a first listen for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know what's funny is a lot of the songs I was hearing for the first time, and wow, that's exactly what I wrote beside Cold and Ugly. Wow, that powerful vocal scream that Maynard pulls off, like incredible powerhouse vocally. I do have another short list. I went with Part of Me. It was a cool song. It really sounded kind of like a garage band kind of Tool, like almost like an introduction, like a demo. Was this their demo?
Well, remember, they had released their demo earlier, the 72826 cassette. So songs like Jerk Off were on that cassette, but then they were released live. By the way, that live recording was actually done at the house of the lead singer of the band Green Jello.
Well, isn't that how they met? They were at a party?
Yeah.
And just kind of started talking music, and Tool was born.
For the record, and I'm just going to take a little pause here because we need to pump the tires here. I want to redirect everyone to our good friend Brian Colburn over at My Weekly Mixtape. Now, I cannot for the life of me remember which episode of his it's on, but he actually had an interview with the lead singer of Green Jello, actually back on his Tune Style days, and he had replayed that clip for the interview about him talking about Tool playing at this party and the songs that basically became Opiate. So go listen to My Weekly Mixtape. Brian is coming back from his short hiatus, so give him all the love. Go follow him at My Weekly Mixtape. You definitely want to listen to every episode because I can't remember which one it was, but there's a fantastic interview with the lead singer of Green Jello talking about those songs and that performance. Speaking of which, I actually had Jerk Off Live as my pick because this is just sheer energy. Like, the live performance of this was so freaking fantastic. And it's a small club. It's a party, right? So you feel that vibe. But that's it. I did have Sweat on my short list.
And Sweat was my pick.
Oh, really?
Sweat was my absolute. It was the first song that I heard. It was a great song. It hit hard. Mm-hmm. It's a powerhouse.
Yeah, this album is sneaky good. I mean, it's a short one. It's an EP. That's fine, right? But if you're a Tool fan and if you haven't dived into Opiate, you need to dive into Opiate. Absolutely.
And I'm happy I did.
Yeah. Now, I ask you, obviously, I know you, right? So Undertow, Enema, that was kind of your era of Tool. Is Opiate going to end up in your rotation now?
I would absolutely give it another listen. For sure. Absolutely. I can't say that it holds the same place in my heart as Undertow, but more on that later.
Speaking of Undertow, released April 6, 1993, hit number 1 on the Billboard Heatseekers charts and number 50 on the Billboard 200. It is triple platinum in the States and platinum in Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. There were 2 singles off of this one. Sober charted the highest, hitting number 3 on the US rock charts. And if you play bass, I guarantee you have played that opening riff. So, Carrie, you were mentioning that this album holds a place in your heart. Do tell.
This entire disc, front to back, first song to last, was the soundtrack of my youth. It was a fixture in my car. Like, I don't think that I actually ever took out the CD. Occasionally, I might, turn on the radio, or I might have flipped, from Tool, maybe to throw in some Pantera, some Green Day at the time.
Right.
But
some Anthrax.
Oh my God, this entire freaking album. Can I just say, short list, all of it.
I have done that before. Yes, absolutely. And this is the kind of album where you absolutely could. Like, I'm just going to read my short list here. And this may surprise you because the singles aren't my pick.
And that doesn't surprise me at all. But what would surprise me, I want you to go through your list.
All right, my short list?
Yep.
Sober, Prison Sex, Swamp Song, and Intolerance on my short list.
I am shocked.
Really?
Unless it's your choice, because you didn't pick Flood.
I didn't pick Flood.
Oh my God, it's bassy goodness.
I know it's bassy goodness, but I mean, here's the thing, and we have to, I need to call this out right now. Like, Maynard James Keenan is a fantastic vocalist, but to me, Tool is the sum of its instruments. And when it comes to 4 Degrees, Adam Jones and the what he does with his guitar, I don't even know. I don't even know to begin how he gets some of these tones, right? He's not up there with like the million notes a minute kind of guitarist, right? He's not going to be up there with your Steve Vais and your Joe Satriani's, but holy crap, the guitar parts that he puts in, and this is solely because of Adam Jones on guitar. Like, you got the cool sitar intro, you got the mid-tempo groove. It's the slide guitar. Like, and it's this song feels like a bull behind a fence, waiting to go, waiting for the fence to open. That's the energy you get on this.
That is such a great description. It really is.
But you went with Flood. Why'd you go with that?
No, that wasn't my pick.
No.
I was surprised you didn't pick Flood.
So what did you go with?
My pick was, okay, I love Prison Sex. I have to admit there's something wrong with me.
There's a sentence that you never thought I'd hear you say.
There is something very wrong with me because I do really love that song. I also love Disgustipated. I mean, come on. Let the rabbits wear glasses. Come on.
Right?
Really? But I went with the Swamp Song.
Yeah, Swamp Song's pretty damn
good. Oh,
good.
it's so good. It is so good. And literally, I wrote pretty much all the songs listed on my short list. And then I'm like, I know I have to pick one. And I listened through the whole CD again and again. And then I was like, God damn, I remember, like, literally, I could go driving at this point and just be happy and listen and put it on repeat and listen again. But I kept going back to Swamp Song. Like, I would play it through and then hit repeat, backtrack to the beginning of the song.
Do you find that with a song like Sober, because Sober is being played all the time, everywhere, radio stations, rock bars, wherever you are, right? Do you find that when you have a song that is that so commonly and oftenly played, that it finds its way off your pick list?
Depending on the band, sometimes that's what I go with.
Mm-hmm.
I found Green Day. I was really gravitating toward the hits.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to break the internet here, but of the CD, which is fantastic, Sober, a fantastic song, but not my favorite. And only because I found it it's a bit plodding in comparison to the absolute powerhouse of some of the other tracks.
You know what's funny? And I should have written this down, but I was on Facebook, I was scrolling through, and there's one of those guys who does remixes of songs, right? Like, this song in the style of, right? And they had taken Sober by Tool and turned it into like a Barry White R&B style.
Oh no. And
I'm like, oh my God, this works. Why does this work? It works, but how? And it was so good.
I mean, it's a great song.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that. It's just that it's lacking, I think, the energy that this entire album has. It's just a little bit slower, a little bit more, again, plodding, or a little bit
Sober's the gateway drug to discover everything else, basically.
Yeah.
When I dropped the needle for the first time, wow, it was magic. The warmth, the texture, the way it pulled you into the music. If you want to feel that again, the Andover Spin Duo is where you start. It's not just a turntable. The Spin Duo comes with a Spin Bass 2 speaker, high fidelity, solid components, no flimsy plastic. It fills the room, and it's versatile enough to hook up to other devices via Bluetooth. And yeah, it even comes with a remote. Andover makes a whole family of gear. Spin Bass 2 Max if you want to step it up, or the Andover One if you're chasing true audiophile heaven. But here's the thing. For anyone getting into or back into vinyl, the Spin Duo is the easy, fun, no compromise way in. And right now, Pantheon listeners get 15% off at andoveraudio.com/Pantheon. That's andoveraudio.com/Pantheon. Drop the needle and join me back in the groove.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Every Who down in Who Newville liked the holidays a ton. But where to get great prices on gifts, they had no idea. None. They searched and they searched for great gifts under $25. Gifts for spouses and friends and even their toddlers. When suddenly one Who shouted, Walmart has what you want, knowing they have Lego, Tree Hut, and low prices to flaunt. So they enjoy the holiday season as Who's often do. Cheering and shouting, Walmart has incredible gifts. Who knew? Find gifts they'll love under $25 at Walmart.
Then you had Enema, released September 17th, 1996. We have our one and only member change at this point. Paul D'Amour is now out on bass with Justin Chancellor stepping in. The album hit number 1 in New Zealand and number 2 on the Billboard 200. It is triple platinum in Australia, Canada, and the US, and gold in New Zealand and the UK. There's 4 singles. Stinkfist hit number 7 on the US rock charts. At the 1997 Grammys, it was nominated for Best Recording Package, but lost to the Ultra Lounge compilation CDs. And at the 1998 Grammys, the album won for Best Metal Performance, and Stinkfist was nominated for Best Music Video, but lost to Got Till It's Gone by Janet Jackson. And the fact that we have Tool and Janet Jackson in the same category blows my mind, but it's for music video, makes sense. And where Undertow was for you as far as playing over and over and over again, This is the album that I could not stop listening to. I left my shortlist blank because it's the whole frickin' album. But I know that this is where they start to go into a little bit more of the math rock, as opposed to the energy you get off of Opiate and Undertow. Enema, for you, your take on it.
I completely agree with Stinkfist being the single.
Yeah.
I agree. I love that song. For me, and like, what is wrong with me? I'm choosing Prison Sex and Stinkfist. There is something really wrong with me. But when we saw Tool live,
I Rock on the Range, yep.
I was so happy that they did this song. I think if they didn't, I would have rioted, because this was the song I was waiting for, the song of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Happy that they played it, yet it's still not my pick off the album.
Okay.
I went with H.
Okay.
The build up, the vocals, like it goes from melodic and soft to just hit you in the head hard with the wrench, you know.
Very much with a wrench,
they
yes.
hit you with a tool. Fantastic. So I went with H. What did you pick?
See, this was the easiest album for me because, and I'm probably spoiling what my only one will be, but I mean, you have to understand that when it comes to, you know, bands like Tool, and of course we've talked about like Dream Theater on the show and whatnot, like I do happen to like songs of a extended length. So when it came to Third Eye, the last track on this disc, holy crap, you're darn right that I listened to this. And like, it takes a while to get into the song because you have like this really long intro and I don't know who, what the stand-up is at the beginning, but it's that whole like, if you don't believe in drugs, if you don't do drugs, take all your albums, take all your books, take all your, and throw them out. Because all those artists, real high. And that intro alone captivated me into this. But then I mentioned Adam Jones when we were talking about Undertow. Danny Carey. The drummer to defy all drumming norms. Like when you have a drummer like Mike Portnoy on a Drumeo video trying to learn a Danny Carey part, and Danny Carey becomes like almost like a curse word for him because Danny Carey does so much with his drum lines. This tribal drum line is killer. And this is where Justin Chancellor is also really adding that bass feel for later Tool albums. But the ferocity of it, the changes in it, like there's so much in this song that it hooked me in. Like some of the other songs, like Stinkfist is great. You can't go wrong with that. H is great. You can't go wrong with that. 46 and 2, like all of these really good songs. Third Eye is the one that just, it sucked me in. And I remember hearing it the first time and I didn't know what was coming next. That was the beauty part of this song. Those changes, they were natural, but there was so much to it. And it's just, I can't say enough about this song. This is the one, like, think about it. It's 13 minutes, 47 seconds. So if you had this album on cassette, you basically listen to this song and a little bit, and then you just flip it over and you listen to, Stinkfist and Eulogy just to get back onto it. Because, it's the end of side B. Go back to the beginning of side A, listen to Stinkfist and Eulogy, then flip it around and just listen to Third Eye, and you're fine.
You have this all mathematically figured out, don't you?
It's not like, Dream Theater, who was, mapping out, like with their Octavarium album. Like there's 8 songs on the Octavarium album. Each song is in a different key, and it's basically going up a step in the octave every single song. And the last song is 24 minutes exactly, which is 24. It's 8 times 3.
I always get really nervous when I see the shorter albums. And this was really common with Taylor Swift when we covered her discography, because it's like, okay, there's only 6 songs, 8 songs. Okay, but each song is like 15 minutes. Like,
Pack a lunch, stay for the day.
Yeah.
Lateralis, released May 15th, 2001, hit number 1 in Australia, Canada, Poland, and on the Billboard 200. It is triple platinum in the US, double platinum in Australia and Canada, and gold in the UK. There were 3 singles off of this one. Schism charted the highest, hitting number 5 on the US rock charts and number 67 on the Billboard Hot 100. And at the 2002 Grammys, Schism won for Best Metal Performance, and I cannot disagree with that pick, because Schism is such a fantastic freaking song. Off of Lateralis, what did you go with?
True story, though. I was driving home, and Lateralis came on the radio.
Okay.
I didn't prompt it. I listened through about half of it, and then I changed the channel. This album for me was a meh. This is where we start to get into the longer songs. And although I do agree with Schism, like try to not, sing it in your head when you're doing like a puzzle, right? Like
that's basically, that was the old joke, right? If you think you're having a bad day, listen to a Tool song, actually read the lyrics, and all of a sudden you'll go, oh, wow, it's not so bad after all, isn't it?
I went with Parabola.
Okay.
Not Parabole, because there's 2 songs very similar.
Parabola, yes.
Parabola?
You say parabola, I say parabola.
Okay, which one is it? Really?
Yeah, it depends on where you're from. And the dialect that you deal with.
Tomato thing?
And I think it is, actually, yes.
What did you call it? Parabola?
Parabola.
Parabola?
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah.
I probably called it parabola.
Blah, blah. I'm the count, blah.
Blah.
Oh my God.
Right now, people are like, well, the count on Sesame Street never said blah. No, you got to watch Greg the Bunny. Trust me, watch Greg the Bunny. But yeah, so you actually picked the second single off this disc. And I'll admit that in comparison to Enema, this album maybe doesn't hit as hard for me, but I had Schism on my short list because, yeah, Schism is fantastic. I ended up going with a song that was not the single, but it's also not the longest song. It is actually, I think, the fourth longest song. I went with The Grudge, the very first track off the album at 8 minutes and 36 seconds long. And this right off the bat, right? You got driving, chugging guitars, you got a sick bass line, the typical Danny Carey tribal drum line. I mean, this song feels almost like a natural progression from Enema, but then it's almost changing. You know, you're almost getting to the latter half of Tool's career as you're getting through this album. And it's funny because when we do these discography runs and a band has gone through certain changes musically, because, yeah, earlier on, Opiate and Undertow, you had songs that, yes, you had some longer songs, but you had they primarily lived in that almost radio-friendly length. Now, we're getting more into these complex compositions, and you can feel the progression as we keep on going. And it's going to get to a point, too, where I'm going to sit there and say, I can understand and appreciate how Radiohead fans felt. Because if you take a look at Radiohead, right? Early album, right? Creep comes out. People are like, oh, this is fantastic. And then the Benz album comes out, and that album is perfect. OK Computer. I love OK Computer, but you could feel the changes. And then you eventually get to like Kid A, and it's like, oh. And I was actually watching a Watch Mojo video. They were talking about like bands that had changed their sounds, and Radiohead was on the list. And I'm like, yeah, Kid A was such a departure from what they had done earlier. Oh, I can understand if Tool fans who were, brought in during the Undertow days, and you get to like, Lateralis and 10,000 Days and Fear Inoculum, and they feel almost kind of left behind. I'm a prog guy, so this kind of sits in my wheelhouse, but I can understand it. 10,000 Days, released April 28th, 2006. It hit number 1 in Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Holland, Finland, Greece, New Zealand, Norway, Poland, and in the US on both the rock album charts and the Billboard 200. It is double platinum in the States and New Zealand, and platinum in Australia and Canada. There were 3 singles off of this one. The Pot charted highest, hitting number 8 on the US rock charts. At the 2007 Grammys, the album won for Best Recording Package, and you darn right, absolutely it should have. And Vicarious was nominated for Best Hard Rock Performance, but lost to Woman by Wolfmother. And at the 2008 Grammys, The Pot was nominated for Best Hard Rock Performance, but lost to The Pretender by the Foo Fighters. So off of 10,000 Days, I know we're getting further into more of the math rock. Your thoughts and your pick?
Yeah, a lot of these songs I couldn't get past the opening. Like, there were a few I would literally skip to like the middle of the song and go from there to see if I liked it, to see if it picked up. I was looking for something different, and one song stood out, and it was Rosetta Stoned.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah.
Could not have been a more appropriately titled song, but it wasn't my pick. Inevitably, I went with Jambi.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't even have any notes, and I can't even recall why I picked the song. It was just, again, I was looking for something different, and it was the one that kind of stood out.
See, I find it fascinating because what our listeners don't know is that my wife is not the biggest fan of long songs. And yet with Rosetta Stoned, you picked the second longest song on the album, short by only 2 seconds of the longest song.
But it was just so odd. It was so different.
It was really good, though. Like,
good.
I'll give you that. I mean, I had Vicarious and Jambi on my short list, but I ended up going with The Pot. And again, this is basically, I'm taking a look at this. I just picked all 3 singles off of this. The Pot kind of fits into that same groove as The Grudge and Third Eye. And as I'm realizing by going through all of these albums that I have a Tool that I like, right? And I know that sounds weird, but follow me on this. Sober prison sex songs like that, they're good energy rockers, no problem whatsoever, right? 4 Degrees is fantastic. Jerk Off is fantastic. But it's the tribal drums, it's the chugging guitar, it's the culmination of what Adam Jones, Justin Chancellor, Danny Carey combined, those 3 put together musically. And yeah, Third Eye and The Grudge and The Pot, they would all fit together on a mixtape, absolutely, because they all have a similar vibe. I found the tool that I like. You take a look at some artists who have varying styles. Remember when we went through the Alice Cooper discography, right? And there was so much different stuff from that discography, but you found songs that kind of fit in the same pocket together. Even going back a bunch of episodes when Sean was on the show, Sean Faust, our good friend, and we were covering Madonna's discography, I found I was leaning more into Madonna's ballads because I find Madonna to be a fantastic storyteller in her ballads. So for me, I think songs like Third Eye, songs like The Pot, they fit into that pocket of what I like, of what Tool puts out. We end our journey 13 years later with Fear Inoculum, released August 30th, 2019. And because I am the idiot that I am, I had to do the count. So 10,000 Days was released on April 28th in 2006. Fear Inoculum, released August 30th, 2019. That is only a span of 4,872 days, not 10,000 like the previous album had promised. The album hit number 1 in Australia, Belgium, Canada, New Zealand, Norway, Portugal, and the US. And it's platinum in New Zealand and gold in Canada, Poland, and the States. There were 2 singles off of this one. Fear Inoculum hit number 3 on the US rock charts. At the 2020 Grammys, Tempest won for Best Metal Performance, and Fear Inoculum was nominated for Best Rock Song, but lost to This Land by Gary Chalk Jr. Also, the album won Top Rock Album at the 2020 Billboard Music Awards and at the iHeart Music Awards also in 2020. To 2019, this album comes out, and this is basically a year after we had finally got to knock off Tool off the bucket list. Rock on the Range. 2018. Rangers, how you doing? Missed you guys. But yeah, and there's this moment before Tool comes on the final day of the festival. And we're already energized because Godsmack had just previously played, and you got people doing like the cell phone light wave going around Columbus Crew Stadium. It was fan-freaking-tastic. We had actually gotten to see a perfect circle on day 1 of this festival, but like seeing Tool in that environment, how was that?
I got to admit, it was cool. It was definitely, as you mentioned, knock one off the bucket list because, I had never seen Tool up until that point, and it was 2 nights of just incredible music. And the cool thing is because we always tend to stand near the soundboard because it's the best sound. It's the best spot in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Now everyone's going to want our spot, but hey.
Well, if you go to that spot and you see us, come say hi.
But what I found was cool is looking back at the soundboard and the artists that were coming out to enjoy the Tool show.
Oh, God, yeah.
We saw Jesse, the lead singer from 10 Years.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, Corey Taylor came out too to watch.
It's quite possible.
With
I wouldn't
his
be
son.
surprised, yeah.
And I know the boys from Tech 9 were there. Like after their show, their makeup's like all running off their face, and they came out to watch. Like just the like doesn't matter the genre, right?
Yeah.
The almost like the camaraderie of artists that came out to pay respect to Tool and their performance, and it was incredible.
Well, I mean, musicians are fans too, right? I mean, we have a number of times because again, we always go for the, sitting on the rail right by the soundboard because it is the best sound. But I remember going to see, what was it, like Papa Roach and Five Finger Death Punch, and then you had 6 a.m. were on the Bill and DJ Ashba kind of hanging out with us behind, around that time. Like, it was fantastic. You do see people come out because they know too, right? Because they can actually be by the soundboard. They can be there. It's their area as well. But the cool thing about this show was that this was one of those moments. And I'm going to say something, and I hope our listeners listen and take this in, okay? Go see the band before you can't see the band, right? Too many times, a show will come over and you're like, oh, I'm busy, or oh, it's no. Go see the band before you can't see the band, right? Because you never want to regret not seeing an artist live playing songs that you listen to, that you grew attached to,
that spoke to you. Like seeing a song live that was part of the soundtrack of your youth.
Yeah, go see the band. Yeah.
I mean, the downside to that is, come on, ticket prices. Like
freaking Ticketmaster. That's a vent for another day, but yeah.
They are literally, though, robbing people of that opportunity.
Well, it's the bots, it's the scalpers too, right? The people who buy the tickets and then immediately put them up on the resale at like double, triple, quadruple the price. Like, no. I hate that that's the world of concert ticket prices. I hate that.
Yeah, it's robbing the experience. It should never be a question of groceries or mortgage or a
mortgage
concert
payments. Yeah, exactly. But Fear Inoculum, and I know this is very much more of a math rock kind of album. Your pick off of this.
Yeah, this one was tough. This was another album where I found that I was scrolling through because the songs were so long. I was starting at the midpoint, and I can't even, sugarcoat. I'm just going with Tempest because it was, it was what the release off the album. It was, it was good. I'll agree. It was good.
You have actually picked the longest song off of this album.
But I started halfway through. Does that count?
No. No.
The intros to everything is like, oh my God, I've been listening to this for 5 minutes. Get on with it.
This might be the longest song you have ever picked in any single episode of There Can Only Be One that you have ever done at 15 minutes and 44 seconds. Yeah. But the funny thing is, you take a look at the actual CD version of this, right? And it's 7 songs long. And only one of them, Chocolate Chip Trip, is under 5 minutes. Everything else is 10 minutes plus. I also went with Tempest, but I'll admit that in the first part of this album, I was feeling that same thing, right? But then kind of partway through, as soon as Descending hit, I found the second half of this album kind of fit more for me. Culling Voices and Descending are on my short list, but this is all Danny Carey drum goodness. Like, normally I lean into the bass, and Justin Chancellor does a fantastic job on bass, but this is why you have Danny Carey. Danny Carey exists for albums and songs just like this. I agree with you, Tempest, and I think this might actually be like the only song or the only album where we've synced up on. The Tempest for me, absolutely. All right. So before we go, it's time. So please remind our listeners what your 6 songs are from the Tool discography. And then, if there can only be one Tool song, what's it going to be?
This will go quick. Sweat, Swamp Song, H, Parabola, Jambi, and Tempest.
And your pick is?
Absolutely, without a doubt, I gotta go with Undertow and the Swamp Song.
Fair enough. All right, so off of Opiate, I went with Jerk Off Live. From Undertow, I went with 4 Degrees. From Enema, I went with Third Eye. From Lateralis, I went with The Grudge. From 10,000 Days, I went with The Pot. And from Fear Inoculum, I went with Tempest. And yeah, I definitely spoiled it. Third Eye is my only one Tool song. It is epic goodness. Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our dear listeners, well, you guys know the drill. If there is an artist that you want us to cover on There Can Only Be One, or an album that you want us to cover on Spin Shuffle Skip, hit us up on social media at OnlyOneCast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, make sure you bookmark the page, because at the end of this year, we are doing a very special There Can Only Be One episode where we're catching up on artists that we have covered in the past who released an album in 2025, and there's actually a lot of them. So we got a lot of different music to talk about at the end of the year. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is There Can Only Be One, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.